Probably the most noteworthy writer of World Cup soccer is Grant Wahl. He unfortunately died of a coronary aneurysm, so it has been told. But I think it is very important not to get too conspiratorial, but there was the final Substack that he wrote just before he died. And I'm going to read it now. And why am I going to read it?
Wait,
because
are you going to, like, is this a long thing?
I don't think it's that long.
Okay,
let's see.
I hate being read to. And I mean, like this, in this situation, it's like, if I can chill out in my bed with my Audible, I'm good.
This is it.
Okay.
So one thing that a lot of people don't realize is that Mr. Wahl was somebody who was hypercritical of the migrant worker exploitation that it took to build the World Cup soccer complex, if you will, in Qatar, which is one of the most, we'll say, barbaric regimes, countries in the whole world, along with United Arab Emirates and, of course, Saudi Arabia.
That's where all the money is.
Yeah, that's where all the oil money is. So,
because I also would point out that I just found out earlier today that somebody else died that I very much liked and appreciated and thought was extremely gifted. And that was Stephen Twitch Boss. I don't know if you know who he is. Twitch he was from So You Think You Can Dance. He was an amazing dancer. Oh, yeah. And then he was Ellen's DJ on her show, basically for the duration of her show. And he committed suicide.
Yes.
And he was 40. And it makes me really, really sad. And it's a huge loss to the dance industry in this country, as far as, like, he was awesome.
All right. Well, then I guess I'm not going to do my story.
No, please read your story.
Okay. So the World Cup Daily, which was written on December 8th, I believe 2 days prior to Mr. Wahl unfortunately passing away. World Cup Daily number 25. They just don't care. Qatari World Cup organizers don't even hide their apathy over migrant worker deaths, including the most recent one. Yeah, we're not even talking about worker abuse. We're talking about abuse so bad that people die. So I'd say that's pretty significant. And this is Mr. Nasser Al-Khater, who is the Qatar World Cup chief executive. Yeah, he looks like a real charmer, let me tell you. So Qatar, they just don't care. The Supreme Committee in charge of Qatar's World Cup doesn't care that a Filipino migrant, they're bringing in people from the Philippines.
Well, of course. What else are they going to do?
Filipino migrant worker died at Saudi Arabia's training resort during the group stage.
They're killing all the Yemeni.
He suffered a fatal blow to the head during a fall in a forklift accident, information that was kept under wraps until being broken by the Athletic's Adam Crifton. Of course, these types of accidents only happen in extremely unsafe work conditions. And why would the work conditions be unsafe?
I don't understand what any of this has to do with soccer.
Well, they were building, they have to build these complexes just specifically for the World Cup.
Oh, so this is sort of like when places bid on the Olympics and they have to put together a whole ridiculous...
You're learning now!
I just don't care that much about the sports games.
We know the Qatari Supreme Committee doesn't care because its CEO, Nasser Al-Khater, told you all you needed to hear in an interview with the BBC that was breathtaking in its crassness. That's what I said.
That baby was breathtaking.
Who says breathtaking? We're in the middle of a World Cup and we have a successful World Cup. And this is something you want to talk about right now? Talk about callous. Al-Khater said when asked about the worker's death, I mean, death is a natural part of life. Whether it's at work, whether it's in your sleep, of course a worker died. Our condolences go to his family. However, it's strange that this is something you wanted to focus on as your first question. He actually said that.
Well,
but Al-Khater
that's some serious sensitivity right there.
I really think for the majority of people who look at these types of stories and get conspiratorial about what actually does happen when somebody dies conspicuously, is it possible that Grant Wahl just died of natural causes? He had been complaining about his health, that he had been overworked for the past several weeks, and then all of a sudden dies of an aneurysm? I would say that it's very possible.
What does that have to do with the Filipino?
Why are you commenting like that?
Because I'm looking at, you're sitting there talking about the story about a Filipino migrant worker and that he fell to his death. And now we're talking about somebody else. And I'm not really understanding the context of any of this. So
Qatar is hosting the World Cup.
I understand
Qatar
that.
is hosting the World Cup, and they have hired slave labor to build their complexes. And slave labor has been dying as a result of this.
No. But the person you're referencing, Wahl, I don't understand who that is in relation to this.
He is the soccer journalist who just died.
Okay. That's what I'm just trying to understand, because you're going back and forth between
people. I think I've been very clear. And if you ask anybody in the audience, they would say the same thing.
It's like following a story with
Grant. You don't care because you don't like sports.
But I don't want people to get dead.
No. And at least you like football. But
I like football and I like basketball.
But the World Cup is a significant story right now because they decided to host this grand spectacle for which happens every 4 years. It's the most watched international sporting event in the world, even more than the Olympics. People tune in for this.
All right, guys, I hear you.
And so as a result, because you don't care, but that's okay.
I do. I care deeply.
Not in the least. And so what makes this story so significant is the fact that this gentleman who had been writing about soccer for so long decided to not write a neoliberal talking point about how wonderful the World Cup is and how this is bringing money to the local community and the working people are going to benefit from this.
So he called them out.
He called out the absolute barbaric behavior of the Qatari regime. And you do not do that.
And then he got dead.
Now, you can say what you want about how he just coincidentally happened to die within less than 48 hours of releasing that article. They want to focus on the fact that he walked around town with a rainbow flag on. Yeah, that's going to piss off a lot of people, but they're not going to kill somebody over that.
I don't know. In over there, I don't know that to be true.
That's not something that's going to affect their bottom line. But calling out the fact that you employ slave labor and you're actually killing people in the process because you simply are so barbaric in your labor methods, that's not going to sit well at all.
Thanks for watching. If you want to support our mission to transform politics into service, please like this video, subscribe, follow us on social media, and consider joining our Patreon, where you'll get early access to our interviews as well as other exclusive content. Links are in the description. Peace out.